Patty's back.
Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, welcoming you back to another edition of the Raw Rewind, presented to you by Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And it's not just me, Patty P, here in the Yard of Streams. I am joined, as always, by the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Hi.
We're back. Oh,
Oh, we're so back. Mm-hmm. Sara, we're so back here in the Yard of Streams, and I'm not saying anything bad about life down by the river. It is fine here, but life down by the river wasn't so good for you.
it was not.
It wasn't.
My computer and my internet was like, no. We need to be by a smaller body of water.
No, a little bit smaller body of water, a little bit more rural. Suburban.
Yeah.
Excuse me, more suburban.
Yeah.
So, suburban lifestyles means houses. Houses have yards.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're back. Sara, that's exactly what it means. And I don't know, getting back into StreamYard and everything here, we have some new little addiciones that I'm not just going to throw off right away. Mm-hmm. You know, will be sprinkled all throughout. And then life's pretty good too, as we got some NWF action in front of us, which I had a brilliant idea for the future that is going to keep it going, Sara, because I feel that the NWF really should be a staple of the show. Mm-hmm. And has like legs to be a staple of the show, because it's I don't know, it just, with all the nonsense that comes with it, and the way that honestly 2K has been booking your show compared to mine, it's really like your brain and my, it's nice. So yeah, enough royal rambling here, Sara. What's going on with you? How does it feel to be back in the Yard of Streams?
I'm happy about it. It feels like home.
It does. It really does feel in a way like it is nice. I don't know. Yeah. Everything here, it's got our place, got our clips all ready to go. I will say we're playing with, before the show we were playing around with the features, and like if we had one more person in here to be those hands, oh
yeah,
I feel like, because there's the features that you and I are not going to utilize because we're in the thick of it, discussing, you know,
into the thick of it. Ew.
Your backyard friends, the backyardigans. That show slaps. You weren't too old for that, right?
I don't know. I never watched it growing up, though. So I was like the generation of Barney.
Oh, I watched Barney.
Yeah, but I watched like the OG Barney, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the OG, when he was like actually dark purple, you know?
Oh,
when
yeah.
He became like fuchsia.
See, how was mine?
Yeah. I mean, Barney was legit, you know?
He was legit.
Yeah.
Legit. Mm-hmm. Him, Arthur. I was big with Arthur.
Wishbone.
What?
Remember Wishbone? He was like a little dog, and he would like go back in time and like teach you about history and stuff.
No, I gotta ask my girl. I gotta ask Katie about that, because she might know that. She was big into all those shows growing up, hence teacher. So, but yeah, no, it's good to be back here, and just because it's good to be back here doesn't feel like we made some friends here. Let's hear from the peeps. Sara, Sophia said it was really nice seeing you at the Pro Wrestling Super Show on a Friday. Yeah, Sara, we got to, like, I feel that in 2026, both of us should just go to more wrestling shows in general. And I mean indie shows because I will just on a Friday night drive by myself, watch some indie wrestling. Saturday night, I'm going to Limitless Wrestling this Saturday with Jimmy from the Q over at Stash Club Wrestling. And I don't know what it is, but I just love going to these shows, whether they're with a friend or not. Just gets me out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it'd be a cool way too. See new talent. You're also getting a different indie scene than me out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be another cool thing. Because one thing I have noticed from watching wrestling on television is that the local enhancement talents look vastly different depending on where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my case, anytime they are in a New England state, I can kind of recognize who the indie talent is, who the enhancement guys, extras. But once they get like past the Mississippi, it becomes really tough. I
Mm.
don't really know those people. I'd have to ask my dude, the victorious one. So yeah, I would like to see like yeah, what your indie scene is like what Arizona's is.
No idea. No.
No, I would have no idea either.
Yeah.
But no, it was it was a really fun time, and yeah, I'll take a couple minutes here to talk about it because it you were it with everything going on with WrestleMania prices and just outrageous ticket prices in general. These tickets were $20,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you sit up front, you watch wrestling, but not only are you watching wrestling, and I kind of have picked up on this because I've been going to them more. You it's a different form than what you're watching on television. You get to learn the craft a little bit more. Those little things that you're not going to pick up on because there's a commercial break or 2 minutes of commercial breaks in the middle of there, you're not going to see any sort of story develop in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that's one thing I do like about AEW and also my little, I'll call it OCD or obsession, is that when they go to picture in picture, NXT does it too, that I don't look at the commercial. You
Yeah.
know, I have hearing problems to begin with, so I don't really. It is white noise to me. I will look at the smaller screen just to watch the match progress, and it's just little stuff like that that you don't have to force yourself to do when you go to these things, and also you get to actually see the wrestlers and
Mm-hmm.
interact with them, and it's so much fun. I just wish a lot. I wish that we could do. I could go a lot more, and it feels like if these shows are coming up, and I was talking to Brett at Pro Wrestling Super Show because he was in the corner of one of the guys. I will be going to a lot more. So I implore anyone, you included, Sarah, to go to as many as you can. You could probably go to 25 indie wrestling shows in 2026 and still be $100 less for a balcony ticket for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember that.
Yeah.
So
How sad is that?
I was looking at the Twitter. I was a lot of doom scrolling, and I saw that the ticket price comparison
I
from
saw that too. Yeah.
oh my god,
I
WrestleMania
know.
38 when we started this because we started this because Cody Rhodes came back basically,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
timing, Big Bang Theory, and that ticket was 169 I think.
Yeah.
Average ticket, which WrestleMania 40 was in the 300s. I really didn't care because to me it made sense.
Yeah.
It just felt bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But the jump to double it in a year,
Mm-hmm.
so it was just, oh, I can't wait to discuss that meeting, the reports about that meeting on Thursday too, Sarah. We have a lot to talk about on Thursday
Mm-hmm.
already.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Unfortunately.
I
Like
know.
fortunately, unfortunately.
Yeah. There was a guy, Jimmy LaCroix. I won't read the whole comic because that was just Sophie's. But this guy, Jimmy LaCroix, was part of the second match, I'm pretty sure. But he kept doing like crowd work throughout the entire show. He was dating one of the girls that fought Livia. He was dating the girl that fought Livia in the steel cage. And he was just moving through people and saying, "Move, excuse me, out of my way," and just like being a chicken shit heel that way. Little stuff like that, you know, that's what you learn. And then she got a picture Tico Ride. What's up, Nathaniel? I do not think
No,
The Rock should.
I don't want The Rock back in WWE ever again. So
See, that's where we differ. So, we do
he's
differ
part
there.
of the problem of what we were just talking about. So I don't want him around.
Yeah, de facto. De facto part of the problem.
He's on the board.
De facto. Yeah.
But I still think he's like, you know, I don't know.
He's not your cup of tea.
No,
Not your cup of tea.
not at all.
All right. Well, Sarah, as I share the show here on all social media channels. Oh, someone say social media? Yeah, I did. Social media, where you can follow us for all wrestling content, not just talking about Raw. S Marsh on Twitter for Sarah, and at Patty Pitts, or Patty_Pitts, excuse me, on all other social media platforms. So yeah, go there. But yeah, while I share the show to get more peeps here, why don't you kick us off? Ring that bell. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of funny. Okay.
Okay. So the show kicks off with the Usos making their entrance, which I don't even get me started on the "It's Just Me Us" still happening. Okay, I feel
I'm tweeting about the show. I don't really feel like going in a Royal Ramble about that right now.
I know.
Let's focus one at a time.
We
can talk about that.
It's like a trigger. Like every single week, I'm just like, I get so irritated, and I'm like, and we have to start the show with this.
See, like, and you know me, I'm usually the one who's talking you off the ledge.
Yes. But it's just so stupid. It
is. I don't like it.
And the thing is the reason why it's stupid is because the song of them together is exactly the same with just different words.
No,
it's not like the song with "It's Just Me Us" tells people to yeet, so they're like, oh, we need to keep doing this because otherwise they won't do it. No, they would be doing exactly the same thing if they played their joint song. So like, there's no reason for it. But anyway. They are interrupted by the Vision. We see them go back and forth. It sets up a 3-on-3 match, which we can, I don't know, we'll talk about that. It was whatever. I think the bigger talking point from this, which I think a lot of people were discussing online, was the state of the Vision. A lot of people are not that intrigued by them right now. I don't know if it has anything to do with Seth Rollins being out, now Braun Breaker being out for who knows how long. But it seems like a lot of people are checked out of the Vision. And it's not exactly surprising because they have, they were being run by a guy like Seth Rollins. And so obviously that gets people to like buy in and listen. And then once he got injured, people were interested in that story because then Braun was like the guy, but now he's gone. So I feel like the whole point of the Vision being a thing is now being run by those guys. And so it's not like as intriguing. I don't know what other word like for people, but I'm not like as bored with them as people are. Like, what do you think?
I'm not. I really am not that bored with them at the moment. They really, what sucks is that they are a victim, or they are victims of circumstance. They had Seth. I mean, let's talk about where it initially started. They had Seth's injury first, which is the whole reason for them turning on him. Now you have Braun's fluke injury happen, and the stars of the Vision are leaving, and now you're left with Logan Paul being the face of the Vision, which is, it's fine. It's working. It's not totally unwatchable and, oh, they really should reassign them to something else. It's just not what it could have been. The problem with that is that wrestling fans sometimes, let me back up. Wrestling fans struggle to have something dangled in front of them and then have it taken away and have to pivot to a plan B. You
Well,
know.
and I think what I find interesting about this is, like I said, the point of the vision, which was Seth wanting to take these younger guys under his wing and like make them the future of the company. And so they needed, in his eyes, his mentorship. So
Mm-hmm.
I understand why people are like, oh, okay, he's gone now. Like, what do we do? But on at the same time, these are people who are saying, "Oh my gosh, WWE is run by 40-year-old main eventers. They're not building for the future, blah blah blah." And then when you have something like this, where clearly they're trying to build for the future with Braun Breaker, with Austin Theory, with Logan Paul, you could say even with Bronson Reed, even though he's older compared to the others, they're not interested in giving it time to see what it can do. And I, like, as we said, I understand that you're not going to be as interested in watching now that Braun Breaker's injured and now Seth's injured, but shouldn't we wait to see what's going to happen? I mean, these are guys that could be the face of the company in 5 to 10 years. Like, this is just the beginning, and I want to see it through because I think there's a lot of potential with these
Mm-hmm.
guys. We've already seen how good all of them are in the ring, on the mic. Like, they're very entertaining. So I want to see where this can go, and hoping that whatever pivot that they have to do because of these injuries, that's going to lead us into something that's like the I don't know, something that is worth having to sit
No, it's
through
going
this,
to. Like, it's not. And one thing that a lot of people struggle with is that anytime shit sucks with booking, or their favorite wrestler didn't get the win and aren't going to be in a title match at the PLE, they immediately want to call for Vince to come back.
I
They
know.
want Vince, and they say, "Oh well, you know, we need Vince back. Shit wasn't bad when Vince." Yes, it was.
It's
All right. There's
revisionist
only one
history.
example
It's
that I need to
revision.
give you that can put this whole argument to bed. Is that Vince McMahon once had Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory main event of Raw having a bodybuilding contest.
I know, and that wasn't that long ago.
No, that's a problem. Is
Yeah.
that you think that that is going to work in this in 2025, 26?
Yeah.
It's not. And that's why you have people like AEW, TNA doing leaps and bounds over you when it comes to in-ring stuff. That's why you have to have Triple H now come in and do
Yeah.
that. Like, that's why there is a new era. So just freaking be patient.
Well, and I agree with Jackson. He says, I think fans expect every faction to be the bloodline from the past. And I would say I agree, but I also will counter that with saying people were also bored of the bloodline. There was
They
plenty of
were.
weeks where they were like, oh my God, it's the same shit every single week. Or even like when anytime that Roman was defending his title over the last like year and a half, 2 years, and he always had somebody in the bloodline help him retain, people were going batshit crazy. Again, it's revisionist history. People are always going to romanticize the past. It's we talk about it with like the Attitude Era. People make it
Yeah.
out to be like it was the greatest era in wrestling. And when you actually look back on it and you rewatch things, you're like, yeah, there was some good stuff, but there's a lot of crazy shit that's like, why was this on TV? And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people forget that part of the bloodline. It wasn't like incredible stuff for 4 years every single week. There were
No, it
stretches of
wasn't.
time where we were like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, people are just longing for that, or they're holding things to like a higher standard than it needs to be.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and I think the vision has a lot of potential to be really good. They've just been dealt some bullshit because of injuries, and that sucks. Like it
It
feels like
does.
injuries have been happening so much more lately at the like, not that injuries are ever good, but it feels like they're happening at the worst possible time. Like it's just, I don't know, that's been happening recently. Nathaniel says, I wonder how long Braun Breaker will be out. I don't know. It's really hard for me to believe any reports about people's injuries at this point.
It's
um
I stopped doing that unless I'm talking to the yeah,
yeah,
person in
it's,
charge.
I mean, because if you looked at like the earliest reports, they were saying like he's gonna be miss Mania. I mean, they were saying that he had back surgery, that he had like a herniated disc or whatever.
It was a herniated disc. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if that's the case, then I would assume, yeah, he'll be out for like at least 6 months or something. I mean, it's a back injury. But we don't know the severity of it. Like maybe it was laparoscopic surgery, so that could come back much sooner. I don't know. We don't know where the disc was. Like we don't know any of that. So I have no idea. But I would anticipate it's not going to be soon. But who knows? I did want to talk about this as well because since we're talking about the Vision, a lot of people are also talking about the overusage of the Masked Man, who made his appearance again at the end of this match. And I think that we've all collectively realized that whoever is the Masked Man on TV is not who it really is going to be.
No, it's not. We have to,
Yeah, it's like a different dude every single week. So we need to stop trying to figure out who it is.
Mannerisms are close, though. Mannerisms are looking pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Seth. A lot of people were thinking that, but
do you think it's Seth as the guy?
Like
the
he's
answer.
Gonna be revealed as the guy?
He will be revealed, yes.
I honestly, I don't know. Like when I was thinking about it, because I still want Austin Theory to be a mole and that he's working for Seth. Yeah. That's what I still want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to think of how that could still happen and then have this other person involved has me a little stuck because I'm like, I don't know who that could be. And I don't know, because I feel like if it is somebody who is also working with Theory and Rollins, then whoever the Masked Man is going to attack Theory as well to make it look like everybody's fair game.
Obviously,
you know?
Yes.
So I don't really know who it's going to be yet. I feel like, yeah, maybe if you were to ask me right now, it feels like Seth is the only one that really makes any sense. But we don't really know the direction that they're going to go in, and if they've changed directions because of Braun's injury, like I don't know.
I don't either.
But I do think that I don't know. I don't hate the Masked Man thing. I think that it's because we don't know what is going to happen. Like there's no clear direction of what's going to happen with the Vision between now and Mania, or when Seth's going to be back, or when Braun's going to be back. It's more difficult for me to buy into seeing the Masked Man more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have completely locked into what is going on to like the Masked Man. I do not believe will be revealed until probably the Raw after WrestleMania.
I would say whenever Seth is able to come back, I would assume, unless they really need to like spice things up and they're like, oh shit, we need to do something.
Maybe
they reveal him early. I don't know, but.
Well, I want to bring this up too, and because I want to see if it's a banner, but it is not. So I will now. So, do you think that it has anything to do with the package that was dropped off?
I don't know. There's just
it was in the box, Sarah.
I know. The thing about this is like it's so hard for me to get excited about anything or like I don't know, something like who's the Masked Man or what's in this box, because Triple H has admitted about doing things just to go viral or just to get like and so and that's not how my brain works. Like when it comes to wrestling, especially because the early days of the Triple H era, there were clues and stuff going on in the background, and like you had to piece things together, and it was like long-term stuff. And that's not what he's doing necessarily anymore. And so it's like, but that's how my brain still works because I'm trying to figure it out. But it could be as something as like, as Jackson said, maybe the package is Jericho. And then it's like, why did I sit here trying to connect it to the Vision, but there is no connection, So I'm like, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Like, I don't want to try and figure it out.
Hold on. So I'm going to do it quick. Let me see. I'm going to do a quick bit here. I want to know. I have a lot of different inklings of what I think is in the box. I have a few here. All right. My handy dandy notebook, because I was a Blue's Clues kid. So the easy one off the
kid though. Were you a
I was both. So I watched both.
Okay, but you started as Steve.
I started as Steve, correct.
Okay. Okay.
Green, come on.
Yeah.
So my first and obvious is easily Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of signs that point to him. The fan conspiracies that I see online with, well, it's the date and it's a countdown, so that's related to the countdown of Y2J. Like, it's unbelievable. If you want to go
But
down a rabbit hole and lose yourself for a little bit and lose reality, go
I
down that.
guess
It's incredible.
I would ask, what is the significance of him returning at Elimination Chamber, though?
He was in the first ever Elimination Chamber match.
But like, why would
Only
he?
other significance.
Because why would he return at Elimination Chamber though?
Same building he debuted in.
Okay.
So it could have been No Way Out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with Elimination Chamber.
I just
It's
wonder
more
where
20
does he
years.
fit in right now? Like what, you know what I mean? Like this is why I'm saying like I can't always like just let something be because I want to figure out why. Like there has to be a reason, you know, or like what storyline would he be coming in?
Correct.
Why is he coming back? I mean, unless he somehow like replaces someone in the Elimination Chamber, but like
Which
that would be wild, and I kind of
could
hope
be.
not because so far it's pretty packed. So
The next one I got is a holiday mascot. I said St. Patrick's Day because Cupid's gone. Okay. Holidays coming up of St. Patrick's Day. Hornswoggle would be the mascot. Okay. It could be to promote something there. Okay.
okay.
A slot machine. Because we're in Vegas. Like maybe it's to promote WrestleMania and the slot machine. If you pull the slot and you get the 3 bills and you get a front row seat to Mania. I don't know. That's where my mind goes. Another thing I had was Pokemon because they made such a big deal of Logan Paul's Pokemon card last night.
I
Maybe
mean,
it's a
he sold it for
Pokemon.
16 million. So
Yeah, Pokemon's fucking good.
I was seeing a lot of people blame him for why
I did see that
the
too.
hobby is absolute shit.
I
And
saw
I don't
that.
it's kind of true. I'm like
No, it is.
I stopped collecting Pokemon cards because like it's ridiculous now, but
Another one I got that I just thought of because we were talking about Logan Paul. A Babani. I would love to see Babani in the box.
that would be pretty cool.
I just would like him to
It's
have the
Jake
proper-
Paul. I would kill myself.
See, that's why I had a good thing in having Bad Bunny be the guy, and then you're saying, why we gotta even bring up Jake Paul?
I'm
I
just
like
saying,
Jake Paul.
because to me, there's something about the vision that I don't know. I'm not sure that I believe Logan is 100% in this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he is behind the masked man. There's just something like in the back of my mind. Like every time I'm seeing something, I feel like I'm like, I don't know. And maybe that's just because I'm trying to think of some way to like make it more interesting.
Fair.
But Logan seems to me more like a guy who wants to be the star on his own and doesn't want to be stuck in a group like falling behind other people. But he wanted to try and take advantage of this opportunity to be in a group and thinking that he was going to be like the guy to come out of it. So like I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's behind it somehow. I don't know. Jackson, I hope you're wrong. I don't want Jake Paul anywhere near.
And then my final one that I just thought of is a statue alluding to a Hall of Fame induction of some sorts.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I don't know how I feel because I think people are going to build up expectations of what it should be, and people are going to want it to be like a massive surprise, and so they're kind of setting themselves up for failure if it's not something significant. Because like if it is something that's just like I'm not shitting on your idea, but I'm saying like if it's just a statue, people are gonna be like, what the fuck?
Oh,
you
cool.
know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why it feels like I don't want to have any care about what it is, because if it is something lame, then it's like whatever, you know, like I didn't have any care about it to begin with. So but I think I would assume most people are going to want it to be something like Jericho. And
what about Danhausen?
I don't
I've been seeing a lot of people talk about Danhausen. It
he's
would be
not.
it would make sense for him to be in a box and then debut, and they open the box and he's hitting the famous cursed pose.
See, like I'm not into him, so I wouldn't really care. But
Have you seen
yeah,
a lot of his stuff?
I mean, not really, but like I don't know. I just wasn't like overly interested to see him either.
It's not everyone's
But
cup of tea.
yeah.
Do you know who? Hold on, I'm trying to phrase this again. There is one celebrity wrestling fan that Danhausen is their favorite wrestler.
Oh,
And I'll tell you
really?
this right now, you have absolutely watched the show that they are on.
I don't
There
know.
are two big WWE famous celebrity wrestling fans, and it's one of those two.
Impractical Jokers.
No, non-practical jokers,
Oh.
like '90s. I'm talking about. Like they
Oh.
were
Oh.
'90s stars.
Is it Boy Meets World?
Topanga's favorite,
Yeah.
Danielle Fisher. Her favorite wrestler is
Fishel.
Danhausen.
Fishel.
Fishel.
Yeah.
Danielle Fishel.
Yes.
Her favorite
Interesting.
wrestler is Danhausen.
Interesting.
I love that Danhausen.
Interesting. Okay. Moving on to the women's elimination chamber. We got a match between Asuka, Bailey, and who was the third?
Asuka, Bailey, and Natty Neidhart.
Natty. Yeah, sorry. I have terrible
Low-key
memory.
legend.
Yeah.
The
I do love what Natty's doing right now. Never been like this huge Natty fan, but obviously I respect her. She's incredible in the ring, obviously. I can't say that I was expecting Asuka to win. Maybe part of that is because I feel like they're kind of still trying to do something with the Kabuki Warriors. So I'm like, all right, well, they're not going to put her in there. But I also was kind of hoping for Bailey because I feel like she's in a position again where they have nothing planned for her for Mania, and that really bums me out. So I was like, put her in there. It's like how many has she been in? I'm like,
It's been a lot.
They're putting them like a lot of the same girls in there, so I was kind of hoping that they were gonna put Bailey in, but
I feel like with Bailey, we're gonna get her story finishing up at Mania with Lyra. Like that's the thing, is that a lot of these qualifying matches, they're great for matches to watch, some good old school wrestling. But when it comes to who do I predict will win, it's a little easier to do this time around once you see the matchups. A little shocked about the men's result, which we will talk about. The women's, I wasn't so much, especially after seeing the backstage segment that Asuka had with Rhea and Io and Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
To me, it feels that Asuka is being highlighted as the next major heel on the Raw brand. It'll be like her and Becky, two different types of heels. And I saw a little bit of foreshadowing down the line with the expressions that Kyrie and Io were sharing back and forth, and just how Asuka does not think of Kyrie Sane on the same level, demeaning her, all that. So
yeah, she's not an equal in her eyes.
no.
Would I want Bailey? Nathaniel says, would you want Bailey and Lyra to win the tag titles at Mania? I would be into that.
I would be happy if it happened. I
Yeah.
don't want. There are a couple other people I would like before that.
I just want Bailey to have something meaningful to happen at Mania. I don't even care what it is. It doesn't have to be for a title, but I would love for her to have a match because of what happened last year. So I just want to see her on the card because I think that's fair. Jackson says she hasn't been in one since when she won the tag titles with Sasha, right? I'm like, I don't even know, dude. And if that's true, then it's been a while since Bailey was in an elimination chamber match.
Ooh, maybe.
It's been a while. That's why I'm saying, like,
going to cage match.
I'm not mad about her winning at Asuka winning. I was just hoping, like, I really wanted to see Bailey in that environment again. I want to see her going for the title. Because it felt like, okay, well, that would give her some sort of direction. But whatever she does for Mania, I just hope we figure it out soon because she shouldn't be written off again, All right, we know that Obafemi. I think this is hilarious. They have him like debut, and they're like, "Oh, he's on the main roster," and now all of a sudden they're like, "Who's he gonna sign with?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's been
Mm-hmm.
showing up on both shows. I get it, but they also said that that was a thing where you could be like a free agent and go wherever. But apparently they're like, mm-mm.
No, I got contracts.
Yeah.
He's got
So
contracts to look at.
where do you think he should go? Raw or SmackDown?
So I thought about this, and I had the note here that I like the tease with Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fan of them teasing a little feud there. I want to see who they would tease on SmackDown
Mm-hmm.
for him.
Yeah, beyond Kit
Pers-
Wilson.
yeah, poor Kit Wilson. But just to me, Oba is more of a SmackDown guy right now. I
Really?
want him on my blue brand. I think he
I
could dominate.
my immediate feeling seeing him, I was like, he's raw. He's a raw guy. But like I feel like he could be on either show. I'm just trying to think of where I think he would have more people to fight, and that's where I would want him to go. So if it looks like he has more options on SmackDown, then put him on SmackDown. If there's more options for him on Raw, put him on Raw. I kind of feel like there's some more big dude options for him on Raw if they want him to go with guys that are bigger. But it also depends on what they're trying to do because are they trying to make him a bad guy? Or are they trying to make him a good guy? It feels like they're kind of straddling that line with him where you don't really know what he's doing. It's going to kind of depend on who he's against. Because even having him be like a good guy against Kit Wilson, because that's what's been happening, is a little bit slippery because Kit isn't hated. He's getting over. So, like, technically, he's supposed to be a heel, but he's not quite a heel because people are cheering with him. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I necessarily prefer one or the other. I just want to make sure that wherever he goes, that they have like a clear plan for him. Because obviously he's so good. So
No,
I
he
just
is. I would much rather like that's the thing is that with Oba, he's not a bad or good guy. He's just a monster, a
yeah.
killing machine. People love to see that, and people hate to see that when it's their guy.
I
So
wonder if Raw might be better. I don't know. The only reason I would say Raw is because they're also trying to establish like Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams on SmackDown right now.
true.
So it's like adding another guy that you need to kind of like make into a guy in that mix makes me a little bit nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, they do have the more time because SmackDown's 3 hours again, but I like what they're doing with Carmelo and Trick right now. Trick is so fucking good. So it's like if Oba would be better on Raw, then let him do that. I want everybody to have their time because I think these guys are good. And
Yeah.
we were just talking about the vision. These are people who can lead the company in 5 to 10 years and longer. I don't want anybody to like take an opportunity away from somebody because they got added to that show and then people are like, "Oh, we don't need to worry about them now." You
See,
know what I
I
mean?
feel like he would be taking Javon's opportunity away from him on Raw,
Yeah.
and not by
Well,
hogging the spotlight. It's just the recency of them two squaring off,
yeah.
and I don't know if there's enough for them to stay off separate doing their own thing without something happening between them.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what they do because I'm assuming he'll show up on SmackDown and they'll like tease something there. So we'll have to be like, okay, what seems more
Yeah.
interesting? I don't think. I mean, for the most part, I don't think they can choose wrong because he's on the main roster. So that's good as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
but yeah, it just depends on what their plan is with him. So hopefully they do the right thing and they don't treat him. I would assume they're not going to give him the Carmelo Hayes treatment, but you know.
Mm. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is former U.S. champion.
No, I know, but the way that they brought him up and then had him doing nothing and paired him with the Miz, and it was like, what the hell are we doing? Like that kind of thing. It's like, no, you know.
That sucked.
Um. Oh, why is there double of this? Anyway, moving on to the women. We had Liv Morgan doing an interview, pre-recorded interview with Michael Cole.
Which,
And
thank you.
yes. And it was supposed to be her choosing who her Mania opponent was, or at least that's what Michael Cole wanted it to be. And before anything could even be asked, Dom came in, which I was like, I am so here for this. And not long after that, after Liv is like, I'm not going to pick yet, which I think is very smart because I hate when they pick immediately. I like when they draw it out. Stephanie Vaquer came in, and this dynamic, I'm sorry. I love the fact that, first of all, they're letting Stephanie cut promos in Spanish, girl.
Oh,
let
it's
her
the
do that
best. No,
shit.
you have to, please.
But normally a lot of people would be like, and I mean, there are people hating on it because they're mad that they can't understand it. And they criticize her for her English promos, which I'm like, English is not her first language. Like, what the fuck? But I love the dynamic of her speaking to Liv in Spanish and Liv not really having any clue what she's saying. And then Dom is there like as the translator, but he's like, I'm not going to tell you what she's saying because she's talking shit. And I'm not going to tell you.
No, but he tells her like the important information.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? So I love that dynamic because I love that Dom is directly involved in it. And what I thought was interesting was Stephanie saying enough for Liv to pick up pieces of it to understand what she was saying, to the point of Liv crying.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find right now. Is I'm trying to find the full transcript.
Yeah, basically
of it in English.
Yeah, because basically what she was saying, once she was saying, was like, you didn't have to work hard to get here. You were handed everything. I was born in Chile and I had to work my way out of the country and go to different countries to learn and train and whatever. And she was basically saying like, Liv had it easy because she didn't really have to do the indies, and now she has like a mouthpiece and whatever.
I'm going to find this. It is annoying me because I took a screenshot of it today and I thought I sent it to you.
No.
And I thought I sent it to Kyle because 2 shows. And still no.
Well, anyway, so first of all, I think it's interesting that they're kind of making Liv be a sympathetic character because she's supposed to be a heel in this situation. So I find it interesting that they have her cry, which, because people we didn't know what Stephanie was saying in the moment. If you're not bilingual,
I picked it up.
You don't really know
here we go
what exactly she was saying or what was so insulting.
Here we go.
But I do think it's interesting to have them go against each other in this manner because they're still wanting to solidify Stephanie as like the girl, and so then to have Liv cry, interesting decision.
And I will bring it that I was going to find this transcript and I did. So I will read it for our peeps here, for anyone who does not speak Spanish like you and I do. So Stephanie comes bombing in to the interview, crashes in, and says, "Did you say 10 years of hard work? You working hard? That's bullshit. You've sacrificed nothing. WWE gave you everything. The best training, the best medical. You were given everything. You want to talk about sacrifice? I was born in Chile, a country where wrestling doesn't exist. And now I've traveled all over the world. Japan, Mexico, Latin America, Europe, and I've conquered everything. You should be ashamed because you hide behind the Judgment Day. It's sad because you need to hide behind a man. But let me tell you something. I went through hell and I made it mine. Everything I did was to get to WWE and become champion. This title for me means more than just a title. It is for all the little girls, all the women who never got the opportunity and overcome anyway. Liv, if you pick me, you won't win because I'm going to show you what a real champion is." Holy shit.
So again,
that's my primera.
But
that's my primera.
I don't know. It's a very interesting angle to go about this, I think, because again, like, people were bringing it up, I guess you can say in kayfabe, Stephanie is accurate, right? But at the same time, not really, because Liv was stuck in like a trio team, before they like got released or got pregnant, and so she couldn't. She wasn't working with them
Plans
anymore.
change.
And
Yes.
she went through multiple character changes to get to where she is now, and she did have to work pretty hard to get to where she is now. And then if you do know, Gianna Daddio, the real girl, like
Really.
she did have a rough family life. She did have a rough upcoming. She
Oh yeah.
did have to
Listen to
bust her ass.
Stephanie. Yeah.
Yes.
Listen to Stephanie.
So that's
Stephanie
the thing is
McMahon's.
like it's an interesting dynamic for this feud to be built upon, I would say. But I do think that this made it very obvious that Liv has to pick Stephanie because the way that they went deep with this conversation with Stephanie, barging in and saying all of this, the way it got super personal, the way that Dom is involved, like this has a good chance to be very, very good leading up to Mania. Because I've been saying Stephanie needs a legitimate heel to go against, somebody that is definitely more of a heel than Nikki Bella. And I think that Liv could be that good person. I don't think Liv versus Jade is that interesting. So I think Liv has
No.
to pick Stephanie.
No, what they're doing over on SmackDown with their women's division, yes, it does seem scattered and not planned yet, but there's more of a plan there with those women.
Mm-hmm.
There's at least some sort of story building with Stephanie and Liv to where I would much rather see that over a Liv versus Jade or Liv versus Jordan, depending on
Yeah.
how that title match ends up.
Yeah.
With this story, there's more deep roots there, and I mean, Dom actually plays a role in this story
Mm-hmm.
because he is that middleman that is feeding Liv all the information that Stephanie is saying from her native tongue. What she's
Mm-hmm.
really truly saying, and that is an advantage that you wouldn't have, in any other situation. So
Yeah.
I do believe that this story has the potential to be a marquee match.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I can't wait until she chooses Stephanie. And Nathaniel thinks that Liv will be here at Mania. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of tricky because I feel like Liv deserves that moment, but I would also argue that they think Stephanie deserves it too. I think that Liv deserves it first because she's been around longer. If we're being honest, I think Stephanie can have that moment again. But we'll see.
Oh
And
wait, no, we're getting that. No, Stephanie's been 2-time world champ or one. No, that was
one.
North American. She's
Yeah,
every time she
yeah. Also, hello, another lost soul. He says hi in the chat. He
What
usually
up?
peeps in for Patriot stuff, so I appreciate that. Moving on to the return of we're talking about who it is. We're not going to pretend like we don't know. Okay. So Chad Gable has returned and not in the way that I necessarily thought he was going to return, but he has returned and has resumed being El Grande Americano, and now we have, El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. And I don't know how I feel about this because we were talking about how Kaiser has made this character his. Like I mean, I don't know if you agree, but I had been saying I don't know how Gable comes back and takes this from him because like he took this opportunity and ran with it. He's going to Mexico constantly. Like he has such a presence there, such a fan base. I don't know how Gable comes back as that character and takes it from him. And the fact that they're kind of trying to do that, I'm not into it. I wanted to get your take on it though, because I was like, I don't love this at all.
You see, I'm with you that there's no way that Chad Gable can take the El Grande Americano gimmick away from Kaiser now.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to wrap up. You have to finish what you started, in
Yeah.
my eyes, with this. And I wrote this in my notes from the show that I want to have it here because this is really going to piss off some people. That where is it? Did I not write it? Oh, I got it. If you don't like the El Grande Americano storyline, you're just too caught up in whatever's going on right now. Because once you break it down into the simplest form, one has nothing to do with outside politics and whatnot. It's just identity.
Mm.
That's all it is at the end of the day. It is, I'm this guy. no, I'm really this guy, and who's the better version of this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And the way they're going about it at first came off terribly because it's like, oh, Chad Gable, he was fighting for this. What's going on there? And now you have Kaiser, who enhanced the role.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has his little Americanos,
Yep.
who you had the IWC calling the dumbest idea ever. But how much personality they have now. If you are not like me and have to see it on social media, but if you have a Netflix and you don't have commercials, you saw it. They cut a little bit of a promo in the ring before his match, and they're being animated. When is the last time you saw Pete Dunne show some personality?
Excuse you?
When is the last time you ever seen Pete Dunne show any form of personality?
Well,
That
and
was
shouldn't we
like-
just be happy that they're getting TV time and are in matches? Because we were complaining for how many months that Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate were not on TV? And I get that maybe they're not in the form that you want them to be, but shouldn't we just be happy? Because hello, I was one of the biggest Imperium stands, and I wasn't happy that Kaiser wasn't doing shit.
Oh
and
my
then
God,
they
every
introduced
week.
him as El Grande Americano. I was like, all right,
You
I
were
don't
bullshit.
I was like, I don't love this,
You
but
were
at
bullshit.
least he's on TV. And then he transformed into being like, all right, he stole this. Like Gable's not
And he's
taking
the
this.
best.
He's so
the
good.
best. He's so over in Mexico.
Dude, he dumped Tiffany Stratton for for a Spanish speaking announcer. Okay, he's committed to the bit. He is committed.
Really
He is El Grande
living.
Americano. Yeah.
He's living the gimmick, man.
He is.
He really is. And one thing I've seen that it's really pissed me off are people not understanding like the relationship, like people being like, "What, isn't that the rule?" But like there. It's, you have to think of like, there's two of them. They may look differently in stature, but it's like you gotta live into the gimmick as well.
But I also don't want them to unmask Kaiser. Like,
no, you gotta unmask Gable.
Yeah,
Gable's time's gotta come, because once you unmask Kaiser,
it's over.
It's gone. It's gone. You lost that magic.
Yeah, and I also think it would be a terrible business decision for them because El Grande Americano is huge in AAA. So I don't think that would be a good idea to unmask him. Like, we know who it is.
Shit!
The AAA fans know who it is, but you don't want like the confirmation of who it is, Like, that's part of what makes it so good. And I think that we understand the origin of El Grande Americano with Gable. Like, you understood why.
And that's the OG.
Yes, and so we get it, but like, he doesn't need to do that anymore. There's other directions that he can go in. And this doesn't. I was shocked that they had him come back as this. Honestly, like.
Oh really?
I guess we'll see how it is, but I didn't necessarily think that he was gonna like come back as just Chad Gable or address this. But I don't like that he's like fighting to be the El Grande Americano, because I felt like if you've been paying attention to the past, 8-10 months, whatever it's been. Like, there was just no way that they could even tease him coming back as that.
Oh,
so,
I
don't know.
Okay, I don't. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's not what it's, because that's just what my feeling. But it's like, yeah, like you need to wrap up that story in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like, you would have been just cool with like, oh, he's back as Gable. Cool.
Yeah. Like,
I wanted, talking about how our wrestling brains work, is that I wanted to see Chad Gable come back as El Grande Americano for the sheer fact that a reveal of Chad Gable not being the real El Grande Americano, and having now, close that chapter. Now we have this wrestler, El Grande Americano, who is El Grande Americano. Like, I want to go in that direction and make it more legit and real, and someone who takes pride in being El Grande Americano for wrestling and not just as a cheap gimmick for WWE. It just,
do you
I love that.
Mask versus mask in Kaiser?
That has to be it. That has to be your WrestleMania match. If there's one match that you need to pencil in right now, whether it's 1, 2, whatever. You need to have El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano in a mass versus mass match so that we can move on with one that's a legit Grande.
Well, and it's got to be Kaiser.
Yeah, that's the one that's over in Mexico, and that's the one that is going to be that. Like, that's the thing you have to think of too, is that yeah, it doesn't work in WWE,
Yeah.
but it works in AAA, which is WWE
Well, I feel like El
property.
Grande works in WWE in specific moments. And I think that's what people like. Like they can digest him like every few weeks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll probably get invested in whatever they're gonna do between the two El Grandes. But yeah, I think that he's definitely more of a hit in AAA, which is fine because things work different. Like whatever, there's things that work in AEW that wouldn't work in WWE and vice versa. But I do think, yeah, it needs to be Kaiser's thing because people will get behind Gable if he reveals himself as Chad Gable. Like we all knew that Chad Gable was the original El Grande. We like to pretend like we don't know it's Kaiser now. So it's like if
Mm-hmm.
he reveals like, "Oh yeah, I was the original." It's like, "Okay, cool." And water is wet, like
Yeah, yeah,
you're
exactly.
not surprising anybody and people will get excited that you're back and that you're wrestling, but as a good guy,
And then we're
preferably.
gonna see Chad Gable win singles gold, not OG El Grande Americano.
Yeah, maybe against like for the IC title or something.
Yeah.
Um all right, so moving on to the women, we got to see AJ Lee in the ring cutting a promo and then Becky Lynch comes out and people had quite a reaction to their segment. Um I don't think that it was nearly as bad as people were making it out to be. Um
What did you
I
hear? What specifically did you hear? Because I think I have something in the pipeline of what I thought was wrong with it. So.
um most people are not digging AJ Lee's promo style um because they think that it's very Divas era or some of the stuff that she's saying isn't funny, it's cringy. Like that's what I was seeing a lot of people say, and then they were also saying that then Becky is being like too comedic, too over the
Oh,
top,
okay.
too
Yes, no.
cartoony, and so the two of them like going at it is not really working because they feel like one thing that I saw that I thought this person made a good point was that AJ citing her history as like a cornerstone of the Divas division is legit. And so to have her as like one of the biggest names of that era, then going against one of the biggest names of the current era, like they wanted to see a more serious feud. And because this is kind of like a dream match in a lot of people's eyes that you didn't think that we would ever see because you didn't think AJ would ever come back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I because like I think a lot of people are also just not interested in what Becky is doing right now and her character. I think she's fucking fantastic. I didn't particularly love everything about this segment either, but I think her doing kind of like a Trump character is
No,
so
it's
funny.
crush. It's
It's
that is the best thing right now is that she's doing
it's
a
yeah,
trumpets character.
it's so
It's
good. And so I think that yeah, I think they kind of need to change the direction of what this feud
but
is.
do you think
And
it probably will change at some point with
the build up to
the
Mania, because
chamber?
I think
Yeah,
Becky is winning at Elimination Chamber, and then AJ will probably win at Mania.
yeah.
Um, but I will say one thing before you give your thoughts. One thing that I did not like, and I understand it's kind of like a I don't know, like an old school thing of wrestling, like this is just what you do. You downplay your opponent and whatever. I didn't particularly love AJ talking about herself in like such a high regard and then saying she was gone for 10 years and Becky's done nothing. Like that really irritated me because I feel like if we really want to compare careers, AJ, girl,
No, I know. Yeah, well, that was
and I say this in the most respectful way possible because I'm not saying that she wasn't a pioneer of the women's division. Of course she was. But if we're going to compare resumes, girl,
no, I know.
Becky is the last chick that you were going to put down. Okay, like you know, so I didn't particularly love that because like that's not true. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's one of those things that I talked about earlier with Stephanie and Liv. Like you have to believe what she's saying in kayfabe,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to like really believe, because I still feel you could argue that saying WWE gave Liv everything is wrong, because she's not always been a top girl in the women's division. So she did have to bust her ass to get to where she's at.
Yes,
But
she
you have
has.
to believe that smokescreen, you know, to buy into this story. And it's like I think they're kind of trying to do that with AJ and Becky, but it's not believable because we know all of Becky's accolades and they trump everything that AJ has done. So it's like not my favorite part of the whole thing, but maybe I'm just like,
You didn't like how? Did you like Becky refusing to strike her?
yes,
I thought that
because
it was weird. Like just hit her. You're
yeah,
the hit. You're the. I'm the man.
but see,
I decide things.
I was into it though because I love it when, like, you know, it's the same thing of when like Gunther was champion and they were like, somebody comes out and they're like, well, I want a match, and you know, you said I could fight you whenever, and then he's like, no. You know, it's like because they want the control. They don't
See,
want to give
that's
up the control.
yeah, and I like it for that. But Becky's just felt like you said too comedic.
Yeah,
It felt like I was
cowardly.
watching some old timey cartoon with a why I oughta
Yeah.
type of
Well, it didn't help that AJ was calling her like Becky Boo Boo. Like that's what I mean. I feel like they're
It is
not.
very divas, but that's
Yeah,
AJ's era,
I
and
know, and I
we
think that
talk
their
about that.
current styles of what their characters are doing, it just doesn't work. You know, like if they kind of dropped all of that and you got the more serious side of both of them, then people would be completely in on what they're doing. But I think that we need one of them to at least be a little bit more serious, you know? Cuz like Becky is being serious, but she's supposed to, you
But
know, this
that's
is
the
just it's not
yeah.
what she did last
So
night
is our
is no
president.
different than what we've been seeing from her. It's more so of her doing it with AJ that's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people aren't seeing it as that. Like they're just trashing both girls. And I'm like, no, I don't think either one of them should be trashed. Because people are like, oh, this segment was so cringy and this is why WWE sucks. And it's like, no, it's just like AJ hasn't been around for 10 plus years. And she is still trying to figure out like what we do in this modern era of wrestling, and she's going to still try to figure out, okay, how can I put my style or what I'm used to into what they're currently doing. And then of course Becky is not like a normal standard heel right now. There is a comedic factor to her that she plays into, and it's just like not working. It's kind of clashing.
It's not. I just don't. I would like to see more intensity from this.
Yeah,
You know,
for
like,
sure.
and I get we are probably building to match one of two out of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So it is going to be a little comedic right now. Fine, cool. It just, to me, I want to see these two women beat the holy shit out of each other.
I feel
And
like
I
with
don't think we're going to get
Becky,
that Elimination Chamber.
I think we'll get it after. I think if Becky
That's, yeah.
wins, we'll see a little bit more of a serious side to Becky, because she's going to be like, haha, I finally beat you. I've got one over on you. She's not going to want a rematch. AJ's going to get her rematch because Becky wins by some tomfoolery. And so AJ goes to Adam Pearce, gets the match. And so then Becky reacts to that. But then Becky's going to try and, I would hope, build off of that intensity from beating AJ finally, building up to Mania. And so we'll see a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more of that serious side. But then that's the thing, is also people need to credit Becky because Becky's willing to fucking lose at Mania. Okay, AJ Lee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be really bought in if you're willing to like lose a championship at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And her first title match in how long? AJ's, I mean.
10 years.
Yeah. All right, then we move on to the main event, which was the men's qualifying match between Javon Evans, Gunther, and Dominic Mysterio.
So
Uh
before you go into that,
mhm,
not to rudely interrupt you, but I do want to mention this
okay.
that I have now created a list of my favorite matches of 2026. I I need to keep record of it. Okay, and why am I bringing up this right? Why am I bringing this up right now?
This
Well,
is one
because
of them.
this is the recent addition to that list. It joins AJ and Nakamura at Saturday Night's Main Event, Swerve and Andrade, Men's Royal Rumble, AJ and Gunther, Ciampa and Kyle Fletcher for the TNT, their second match, and now Gunther versus Javon versus Dirty Dom Elimination Chamber qualifier match. This match was so fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
had everything that you want to see from a wrestling fan standpoint in a triple threat. You have the monster, the fun guy. You have the chicken shit heel. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think this one was a little bit tricky. I feel like to predict who was going to win because I think most people were like, "Oh, it's obviously going to be Gunther," but I didn't think that necessarily because of what that meant. That meant that he would be going into the elimination chamber, and he had no shot of winning the elimination chamber match. And do we really think that that's a good idea to put him in that intense of a match and lose to the caliber of guys that he'd be against? No, not when you're trying to make him into this career killer dude. You can't then put him against some of the top guys in the company and make him look like an idiot. So I don't particularly love how they had him taken out of this match because I'm sorry, as much as I respect Dragon Lee, I do not give one shit about seeing Dragon Lee versus Gunther ever in my life. So
that's going to be that's going to be a good fun. I'm gonna put that as a fun match.
yes,
But
but
yeah, that better
that's a
not be a
one and
PLE
done.
match. Yeah,
Never
I don't want
wanna
to see
it
that as
again.
a PLE. I want
No.
to see that not as a PLE.
Yeah. So I mean I kind of thought maybe Javon. I assumed probably not Dom, but I don't know. But yeah, I think most people from what I saw were really excited that Javon won. Not only because of the type of wrestler he is, but I think also the stakes, of course, because if you win the Elimination Chamber, then you go on to get a title match at Mania. And we've seen a lot of breakout performances from younger guys in the Elimination Chamber over the past few years. And so I think this is a huge moment for Javon. And I feel like compared to the other guys that are already in the match, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, he's so different from them. Like we're bound to have like a, you know, Bronson Reed type of moment from him in this match, which makes it a little bit more exciting.
I know. And it was like the bounce, like it was great. I loved everything about this.
I know it'll be fun to see what he can do. And as of right now, I'm like, I have no idea who's gonna win.
The chamber, I have no idea.
I mean, I don't hate it being LA Knight, like LA Knight versus Drew. I'd be into it, but
I'm seeing it would be the Unchosen, which is his new nickname. He's versus the Chosen One.
Yeah, I love that. I also just think that LA Knight deserves that, you know, and I think people would get into that more than they would get Cody versus Drew for the 16th time. So, I feel like leaving LA Knight out of that match makes his future for Mania look bleak. And a lot of people are already like, oh, he's going to face Brock or some bullshit. I'm like, I really hope that's not what it is.
Well, yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, I just don't get how we're going to get to Brock. And we're going to have Brock next week on Raw. But I don't know why. I don't really know what the reason is.
I don't know.
If we're building him up for Mania, fine, okay. You know, can't you have him do something after the chamber? Why are we bringing him home for the go home show? You know,
I'd much rather see Gunther versus Brock and he retires Brock, but I don't think that's happening. Jackson thinks that we'll see Ray versus Gunther at Mania. I get that, but I also don't love it because I don't love Gunther retiring him. I kind of wanted to see. I've been wanting to see Dom retire him. But that would be sick. What?
That would be no. I didn't think. I was like, because I've been thinking, who the hell's the next person that he could retire? It's the one that's friggin' in front of me. I just have to look down.
People were thinking Lesnar at SummerSlam.
That's a legit one. Okay, the Ray one I don't like. Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, let Dom do that. That's more of a family thing. Great. To keep on legitimizing Gunther as this career killer, monster, all that. beating Brock Lesnar in his home state at SummerSlam, which, if you ask any wrestling fan what show they would associate to a wrestler,
Yeah.
SummerSlam is Brock Lesnar's show.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
I actually am thinking about this too. They kind of teased that with AJ of Gunther retiring him from WWE. What if Gunther did that with Ray and then Ray gets officially retired by Dom in AAA?
In AAA, maybe.
I feel like that would be quite a way to have him go out as well and then still get Dom to do it. You know what I mean?
And wrestling,
I don't know.
Look at Ric Flair having 5,000 last matches.
Yeah, I think it's just I think it's the only thing that really makes sense for Gunther at this moment, because if you are trying to do the career killer thing and you want that to continue, then he has to do something like that at Mania, and it feels like Ray is the only one. And if you're not going to do that, then what is he doing? And how does that do anything for that character?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I don't know. Jackson thinks that Brock is just going to declare himself for the Chamber. Can you imagine? I wouldn't be surprised. He just like put himself in the Money in the Bank match. So
yeah, I mean, John Cena just said, "Fuck it, I'm using my legendary status."
yeah, true, but that's John Cena. You know,
You can tell Brock Lesnar no.
I mean, I'm not, but
You want to tell him no?
no, someone else can.
All right, well, that's Adam Pearce's job.
Yeah,
Or he can do what he did to the box and just ship it off to SmackDown.
yeah,
Just
just be like,
no, that's your job. All this.
He puts Brock in the box actually, but
Yeah, Brock's definitely breaking that box at Elimination Chamber.
yeah. But anyway, that was Raw.
That was Raw.
That was Raw.
And we got NXT on right now. I'm probably going to be another half hour late to that because I'm going to try to find some food to stock up on, because we got some nonsense happening in the NXT parking lot already, Sarah.
Oh, geez.
I was scrolling Twitter. That infamous parking lot. Nonsense is happening over there. I got to go watch it. All right. And I don't want any spoilers right now. We got a nice little whatever's going on in my TVs. I haven't had anything spoiled. So we're going to keep it that way. All right. And we're going to watch NXT. We got Dynamite tomorrow, which I'm excited for that. TNA on Thursday. SmackDown on Friday. And then your boys heading to Limitless.
Also, let us know if you guys want us to do SmackDown breakdowns again.
Yeah.
Because it's the NFL off season, so I have Sundays open again. So
you have Sundays open again. You know, it could be more of a Spearlink thing because, yeah, I'm not doing anything now. We'll see where it goes. You know, maybe it could be something.
Mm-hmm.
So we need the peeps, because without the peeps or the pits fits, or I don't have something fun to go off of your name. We'll think of it. But
they were my boys, remember?
The boys.
My boys.
Or Sarah's boys.
Yeah.
Let us know. You know, let us know. Because if there's a topic about wrestling, we will talk about it. All right. And if there's something that we did not talk about today, because Raw is a 2.5 hour show, we did have an hour less. You gotta let us know. Either comment below or follow us on all social media platforms and tweet at us, message us at SMarshXO on Twitter for Sarah and at Patty Pitts on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for ya boy. Meantime, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know every time we go live. All right? Every time we go live, hit that bell notification. Might be posting some new videos. Who knows? That's what 2026 is about. It's all about diving into the unknown and exploring it. So that's what we do here in the Yard of Streams. We take no nights off. Because that's what I'm about to do. I just named every friggin' promotion that I'll be watching till Sunday. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. And I told you what you should be doing until then. Definitely until Thursday, which will be the next time we go live talking about not just WWE, but everything. I named all those promotions, wrestling companies. I'm going to see one. We're going to talk about those on Thursday. same time, same place. Expect to see you there. So thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All I gotta do is try. Peace.